What if I told you there's a place in West Africa that feels like a lost chapter of American history, where the flag looks familiar, the language is English, and the people might remind you of family you never met? That place is Liberia. And what most people don't realize is that it's one of the few countries in the world that was literally born from the idea of freedom, built by freed African Americans returning across the Atlantic in search of a fresh start. Tucked along the western coast of East Africa, Liberia is about the size of Tennessee, but instead of Nashville and Memphis, you'll find 360 miles of untouched beaches, dense rainforests humming with life, and a culture that pulses with rhythm, resilience, and soul. And here's the kicker. Despite all that, Liberia is still off the radar for most travelers. Let's change that. Liberia isn't just a poetic name. It comes from the very concept of liberty. Founded in 1847, it was the first republic on the African continent, established by freed African Americans who set sail from the United States, looking for a land where they could live free. That American legacy still runs deep. The Liberian flag looks like a simplified version of Old Glory, red and white stripes with a single white star on a blue field. The capital city? Monrovia, named after U.S. President James Monroe. But the real story lies beyond symbols. Unlike the packed beaches of Florida or California, Liberia's coast feels like a secret. There are no hotel chains crowding the shoreline, just miles and miles of quiet sand kissed by Atlantic waves. Inland, it's a different kind of wild. Liberia is home to one of West Africa's largest rainforest ecosystems. Temperatures hover year-round between 70 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and rainfall can hit 200 inches annually. This lush environment shelters animals you've probably never seen, like the pygmy hippopotamus, a shy, endangered cousin of the hippo that barely reaches your knee. And then there's the human story. With a population of around 5.5 million, Liberia is a cultural mosaic of over 16 indigenous ethnic groups. Each one brings its own tradition, languages, dances, and festivals. Yet, despite this diversity, English remains the official language, making it surprisingly easy for American travelers to connect with locals. If you ever find yourself in Monrovia on July 26th, prepare to witness a national explosion of pride. Independence Day in Liberia isn't just a public holiday, it's a full-on cultural eruption. Streets flood with parades, silk fabrics in blazing reds, yellows and blues flutter from bodies moving to the beat of African drums. Flags wave high, kids chase each other through alleys, and the air smells like something straight out of a dream. Grilled chicken, spicy jollof rice, and seafood fresh from the Atlantic. It's not just a party, it's living history, because Independence Day marks something unique. The founding of a nation by people who had once been enslaved, now writing their own story on their own land. And if you're lucky enough to be there when the Poro and Inandi mask festivals happen, you'll see an even deeper layer. Rituals connected to ancient secret society, performed to honor ancestors and guide the young. Picture dancers in hand-carved wooden masks, women adorned in beadwork and traditional cloth, and rhythms that pull you into a trance you didn't know you needed. Here's something that might surprise you. One of the most famous songs Michael Jackson ever recorded, Liberian Girl, is about the women of this country, and when you see them, you'll understand why. Liberian women have a presence that's hard to describe, but impossible to miss. It's not just their glowing skin or intricate braids, it's the strength in their eyes. These women carry family, run market, launch businesses, and lead community. They're the backbone of Liberia, but they're also world changers. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf made history as Africa's first female president. She led Liberia through post-war recovery and inspired millions across the globe. Lema Gabowi, a social worker turned peace activist, organized a grassroots movement of women, Christian and Muslim alike, that played a pivotal role in ending Liberia's civil war. That courage earned her a Nobel Peace, and those are just the names we know. Everywhere you look in Liberia, women are rewriting the rules with a blend of grit and grace. Whether it's in the kitchen stirring palm butter soup or in a boardroom signing contracts, their power is undeniable. Let's talk about food. Liberia isn't just a place of history and heart, it's a flavor explosion. Jollof rice here isn't just rice. It's bold, spicy, rich with tomato, peppers, and chunks of meat or seafood. Some locals swear it beats the versions from Nigeria and Ghana. That's a serious claim. Then there's cassava, mashed into fufu, and served with creamy palm butter soup. It's a comfort dish, warm and earthy. For street eats, think crispy plantain chip or fiery pepper crab, served hot, messy, and unforgettable. And to wash it all down, ginger beer, zesty, cold. The kind of drink that kicks the heat out of your body and makes your tongue thank you. Oh, and there's Liberian coffee too. It's not for the faint of heart. Brewed over charcoal stove, spiced with black pepper or cinnamon, and often sweetened with condensed milk. It's got a smoky punch that either makes you fall in love or never want another sip. Some say it's more popular in Southeast Asia than in Liberia itself. Go figure. Now imagine this. You're walking through the busy streets of Monrovia. Horns blare. The air's thick with dust, and suddenly a flash of pink zips past you. That's not a mirage. That's the Pink Panthers, a fearless crew of all-female motorcycle taxi drivers who launched their own service back in 2015, breaking into what had long been a male-dominated job, and doing it in style, wearing hot pink jackets and matching helmets. They don't just stand out, they make a statement. These women aren't just riding passengers around the city. They're protecting them, supporting each other, creating a sisterhood on two wheels, in a place where potholes can swallow tires whole, and where safety isn't always guaranteed. The Pink Panthers are seen as local heroes. They're fast, they're efficient, and most of all, they're bold. It's not just a mode of transport, it's a symbol of what's possible when women decide to rewrite the rules. But for all of Liberia's beauty and culture, life here isn't easy. Let's be real, this country has been through a lot. Years of civil war left deep scars. And the truth is, poverty still shapes much of everyday life. Nearly 80% of Liberians live below the poverty line. That means earning less than $5.50 a day. In Monrovia, streets are rough. Literally, some roads are so broken down you'd think twice before driving through. Neighborhoods like Claratown and West Point are packed with homes pieced together from metal scraps, tarps, and wood. Clean water is hard to find. Trash lines the gutters. And electricity? Spotty at best. But here's what's amazing. People don't give up. Kids still laugh and play in those same streets. Families hustle to make ends meet, turning whatever they have into shelter and security. There's pride here, dignity, and a resilience that can't be measured by stats on a screen. If you've ever wondered how strong the human spirit can be, come to Liberia. You'll see it for yourself. Now, let's change gears. Off the coast of Liberia lies one of the most bizarre places probably never heard of. Monkey Island. No resorts, no gift shops, no tourist buses, just a group of about 60 chimpanzees living wild on an island, ruling the place like kings. These aren't just any chimps. They're survivors, rescued from medical testing labs decades ago. Today they roam free, forming complex social hierarchy. Alpha males, lieutenants, alliances, betrayals. It's like a real-life Planet of the Apes. If you pull up by boat, they might greet you with curious stares, or a flying coconut, just to let you know who's boss. They're 3 to 5 times stronger than a human, and smart, like scary smart. There's no petting zoo here, no fences, just raw nature, wild and untamed. It's a place that reminds you how little control we really have in the face of raw instinct and animal intelligence. If Monkey Island wasn't enough of a shock, let's talk about Liberia's most intense morning ritual. It's coffee. Now, this isn't your regular Starbucks latte. Liberian coffee is bold, smoky, and brewed over open charcoal stove. Locals often add spices like cinnamon, black pepper, or ginger, and sometimes even condensed milk, giving it a rich, creamy twist. The result? A drink that divides the room. Some say it's too strong, others say it's perfect. Funny thing is, even though this coffee originated in Liberia, it's actually more famous in places like the Philippines and Malaysia. Over there, it's a cult favorite. In Liberia, people tend to go for milder blends. Still, if you're the type who thinks your espresso isn't cutting it anymore, Liberian coffee might just blow your mind or your taste buds. Here's something few Americans know. Liberia doesn't just share history with the US. In many ways, it feels like an echo of it. The country was founded by freed African Americans between 1822 and 1861. Around 15,000 people made the journey across the Atlantic, hoping to build a life away from slavery, racism, and broken promises. They brought with them their culture, their food, their politics, even their measurement. Liberia is one of only 3 countries in the world, alongside the US and Myanmar, that still use miles, gallons, and Fahrenheit. You'll see US dollars being used everywhere. Basketball courts are just as common as soccer. And the food? Fried chicken and cornbread sit right alongside jollof rice and cassava leaf stew. In many ways, it feels like a long-lost American cousin, a place where familiar threads weave through a completely different fabric. It's strange, it's beautiful, and it's powerful, because for all its struggle, Liberia is a country that holds up a mirror to what freedom, identity, and resilience really mean. Before we dive into the final stretch of this journey, take a second to hit that subscribe button. If you're loving this exploration as much as we are, it's the best way to keep discovering places that challenge what you think you know about the world. If you're the type who prefers destination no one else is talking about, Liberia is calling. Let's start with Robertsport, about a 3-hour drive from Monrovia. This beach town is what locals call West Africa's Bali. Golden sand, crystal clear wave, and not a single tourist trap in sight. Whether you're a surfer chasing your next wave or just want to sit in silence with the sea, this place delivers. Then, there's Sapo National Park, Liberia's largest protected rainforest. No paved trails, no guided tours, just thick jungle, wild elephants, leopards, and chimpanzees living freely in their natural habitat. If you're looking for raw nature, unfiltered and unscripted, this is where you find it. Back in Monrovia, take a walk through history with the haunting ruins of the Ducor Palace Hotel. Once a 5-star luxury stay for African presidents and international elites, it now stands as a skeleton of its former glory, graffitied, broken, and eerily beautiful. It's the kind of place that makes you reflect on time, conflict, and how fast things change. Right down the hill, you'll find the waterside market buzzing with handmade crafts, secondhand clothes, and the kind of energy that only exists in places built from hustle. But more than any landmark, the true highlight of Liberia is its people. Warm, honest, resilient, proud. They'll tell you stories, share meals with you, laugh with you, challenge you. And that's what travel should do. Shake up your perspective, make you question your assumption, and leave you changed. Now let's talk about a man who defines what's possible in Liberia, George Weah. Born in 1966 in a working-class neighborhood of Monrovia, Weah grew up kicking makeshift soccer balls made of rags on dusty streets. No fancy cleats, no stadium, just raw talent and a dream. That dream took him all the way to Europe, where he played for top clubs like Paris Saint-Germain, AC Milan, and Chelsea. In 1995, he made history as the first, and still the only, African player to win the FIFA Ballon d'Or. But his journey didn't end there. In 2018, after years of giving back to his country through philanthropy and youth programs, George Weah became the president of Liberia. Let that sink in. From barefoot street kid to global sports icon to head of state, it's not just an inspiring story. It's a symbol of what Liberia is all about: resilience, ambition, and the belief that no matter where you start, you can rewrite your future. So, what's it really like to live in Liberia? Well, it depends on your expectation. If you're moving from a major American city, it'll feel different, slower, less structured, but also freer. Renting a 1-bedroom apartment in downtown Monrovia costs anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month. Step outside the city, and that drops to between $200 and $500. Not bad, right? Local meals go for about $5 to $10, and you can cover groceries for $200 to $300 a month. You stick with local produce. Imported items, though, can be pricey. Transportation is cheap. Taxis or tuk-tuk style bikes, called keki, cost between $1 and $3 per ride. Gas, however, is around $5 a gallon. Utilities like electricity range from $100 to $200 a month, depending on how consistent your power supply is. Spoiler, it's often not. Generators are common. Internet? Expect to pay between $50 and $150 per month for decent, but not great, connection speeds. Trade-offs, there are. But for $1,000 to twank you's $500 a month, you can live comfortably. If you're adaptable, it's a place where your dollar stretches and life feels less boxed in. But again, this isn't about luxury. It's about experience, growth, perspective. Liberia isn't for everyone, but if you're someone who thrives off the road less traveled, who's not afraid of a little challenge in exchange for a lot of heart, this might just be your next home. By now, you've seen that Liberia is more than a headline, more than a statistic, more than a forgotten corner of a continent most people still don't understand. It's a story of freedom, written by the hands of people who refuse to settle for oppression. It's a story of culture, layered with tradition, rhythm, and the kind of flavor that lingers in your soul long after the plate is empty. It's a story of strength, of women who rise, youth who lead, and communities that rebuild from the ground up. It's not polished, it's not perfect, but it's real. And maybe that's exactly what makes it unforgettable. Want more journeys like this one? Hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. Which country should we explore next? Let us know, and we'll take you